Here we go again. The old George Carlin quote is going to pop up. How many times have we mentioned this famous quote on the show? It's a big club, and you ain't in it. Here's the best headline that backs up that notion. Tucker Carlson asked Hunter Biden to help his son get into college. The email exchange was leaked as part of the ongoing civil war inside QAnon. Now, I must say, when I read that headline, at first I was very skeptical because that seems so absurd. For a guy like Tucker, that seems so absurd, so out of character, that I was like, this could easily just be made up. And one of the reasons I thought that is because the guy who's making the claims is a famous QAnon guy, and he's a famous Stop the Steal idiot. And so it's not like these people are against making stuff up. They make stuff up all the time. And so at first I did have a healthy amount of skepticism. However, I will say, I don't think that skepticism is merited upon reading more about this story. So here's what happened. Tucker asked for a letter of recommendation for his son. By the way, his son's name is Buckley. I know that this is a side point, and maybe this is a cheap shot, but if you have the names Tucker and Buckley in no world, and even in no simulation, would you be a populist. Tucker and Buckley are like the most Thurston Howell III ass type names I've ever heard in my life. So, he asked Hunter Biden for a letter of recommendation for Buckley to get into Georgetown University, which is Hunter Biden's alma mater. Now, I think Hunter wrote it, and apparently he didn't end up going there. I think he went to University of Virginia, but, Tucker was very thankful that Hunter did write the letter of recommendation. Quote, this is it. The email's actually leaked. The emails are posted. Quote, I can't thank you enough for writing that letter to Georgetown on Buckley's behalf, Carlson wrote in a 2014 email to Biden. So nice of you. I know it'll help. Hope you're great and we can all get dinner soon. Hunter Biden responded, hey, buddy, I need Buckley's CV if you have one handy. Thanks. Now, the guy who's posting all this is a pro-Trump lawyer named Lynn Wood. This is on his Telegram account. So why did this happen? Why is there this internal right-wing war going on right now? Well, this guy, Lynn Wood, decided to go scorched earth and have this right-wing civil war. And it's, by the way, this is splitting QAnon, too. And it was triggered because of Tucker Carlson's interview with Kyle Rittenhouse, where Kyle Rittenhouse criticized Lynn Wood because Lynn Wood briefly represented him last year. Rittenhouse said that Wood had, quote, taken advantage of him and was the reason he spent 87 days in jail. And Kyle Rittenhouse also claimed that the $2 million that Lynn Wood raised on Kyle's behalf was not actually used for Kyle, and it was used, quote, for their own benefit. Now, so that's what started this. Kyle Rittenhouse said that on Tucker Carlson's show. Tucker Carlson gave zero pushback, even though Tucker knows Lynn Wood and they were friendly and they would text. And so Lynn Wood was butthurt over that, and then that sort of led to this right-wing war. Now, to this point, look, I'm still in the place of like, well, this could still be made up. The guy Lynn Wood is definitely a liar. The Q people are insane. The Stop the Steal people just make stuff up. And as bad as Tucker Carlson is, and he is, and as much of a liar as he is, and he is, the QAnon people are worse. I mean, it's just that I think those are relatively innocuous and obvious claims. But here's where my mind changed. So in the article in Vice, they lay this out. Tucker Carlson actually has admitted on his show previously that he knows Hunter Biden and his wife well. Whoa. So here's what he said in a previous broadcast of his show. Quote, I never thought Hunter Biden was a bad person. He said during one of his nightly broadcasts, quote, I thought he had demons, but in the time I knew him, he kept them mostly under control. At some point, he lost control of those demons, and the world knows that now. He's now humiliated and alone, probably too strong to say we feel sorry for Hunter Biden. But the point is, pounding on a man, jumping on, and piling on when he's already down is something we don't want to be involved in. That sounds to me like a guy who is not going after the low-hanging fruit because the low-hanging fruit helped his son get a letter of recommendation to get into Georgetown, and he likes him. So I think it's real. I think the story's real. I do. George Carlin, brilliant yet again. It's a big club and you ain't in it. Tucker Carlson and Hunter Biden hobnobbing together. See, this is what This is what partisan hacks will never, ever tell you. This is what tribal political idiots will never, ever tell you. Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, they are, Chelsea Clinton. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are just mirror images of each other. In fact, I always said I thought that Trump was always jealous of Hillary because Hillary is beloved by the establishment. And Trump does all this anti-establishment talk, but I think it's because he feels slighted by them. He feels like he's not accepted by them when he wants to be accepted by them. I mean, this is a guy, look at his style, all gold everything. I mean, he's got like Cash Money Millionaire style. It's so gaudy and gregarious. And it's an attempt to be like, I'm like you guys, right? I'm one of the best. I'm in the top 1%. I'm like the king of the 1%. Don't you guys like me? Oh, you don't? So look at the Clinton Foundation. Look at the Clinton Foundation. They would take millions of dollars from authoritarian theocracies, Gulf dictatorships, and then they turn around and give them weapons deals. Donald Trump did the exact same thing. Donald Trump raised $300,000 from Saudi Arabia through his hotel and then gave them a multi-billion-dollar weapons deal. Jared Kushner right now is going to Saudi Arabia and getting billions of dollars from them after serving them when he was in office with Trump and protecting them when Mohammed bin Salman killed Jamal Khashoggi. So they all do the same shit. They all work together. This is the way it works. There's a million Clinton frauds out there, and there's a million Trump frauds out there. There was literally a Trump fraud where he had to pay out millions of dollars because of his Trump University, which wasn't even a university. You can't just call something a university. There's an approval process. You have to be accredited. And he wasn't. He just called it a university, did the classic scam tactics of upselling, and he ended up having to pay out millions of dollars. I mean, these are the kinds of people that we're dealing with here. There was a Clinton Foundation, there was a Trump Foundation, and the Trump businesses. They raise money from all these, global capital interests, and then they end up serving them. They are the same. And now you see perhaps Tucker Carlson and Hunter Biden, they're not, enemies. They don't disagree ideologically. They're from money and privilege, and, they live as such. Isn't Tucker Carlson the heir to, like, Swanson Wealth? So, I mean, again, you just can't see, there's no better illustration of our politics than this story right here. All the culture war posturing about, the sides being at odds with each other, that's all a distraction from the fact that there's an owner class and there's a top 1%, and they're in the club and you're not in the club, and everything that our government does is to protect the money, the wealth, and the power of the billionaires, the corporations, and the top 1% against the 99%. And even they're doing this kabuki theater about hating each other and going after each other when really behind the scenes, they're getting letters of recommendation for their son's Buckley to get into college. Oh, man. Fake populist if I've ever seen one in my life. There you have it.